Phoenix Wright is a great protagonist. I called him boring in my Miles Edgeworth video, but Phoenix's character arc is very well written and a little subtle unless you look into it. In this video, I analyzed the character arc of Ace Attorney's protagonist, Phoenix Wright. Okay, just 2 ground rules before we get into this. This video only goes over his development over the trilogy. I feel like his character after the trilogy is different and frankly sometimes annoying, especially in Apollo Justice. And also, I won't be going over Rise from the Ashes either, because it was written after Phoenix's arc was completed, so there are some subtle differences in his characterization, especially in the final day. Therefore, this video has spoilers for the Ace Attorney Trilogy. Like my Edgeworth video, I will be looking at his character arc in 3 acts, beginning with So we begin with a young Phoenix, so young in fact that he's in the 4th grade. His very first source of motivation to pursue a career as a defense attorney came when he was accused of stealing lunch money from his classmate Miles Edgeworth. Everyone in the class ganged up on Phoenix except for Edgeworth himself and Larry Butts. Taking after his father, Miles came to Wright's defense, pointing out that there was no evidence against Wright and therefore no one could prove anything. Eventually the teacher relented and the class moved on, but this stuck with Phoenix for a long while. We fast forward a decade now. Phoenix is a young, in love, and very sick college student. He is on trial for the murder of a fellow student, Doug Swallow. His attorney is Mia Fey. It is revealed through testimony and cross-examination that Phoenix is dating a woman named Dahlia Hawthorne. Once Mia implicated Hawthorne in the murder, Nick makes every attempt to cover for her, literally eating evidence at one point. Of course, this is Ace Attorney, so he isn't arrested for this. It comes out that Dahlia was actually trying to murder Phoenix because unknowingly he had an important piece of evidence against her from another trial. He received this evidence when they first met in the library of the university. It was a necklace with a little bottle that actually contained trace amounts of super potent and deadly poison. So we can add that to the list of ridiculous things Nick survived. Mia Fey eventually wins the case, but Phoenix remarks that the Dahlia he spent all those months with was different somehow. Inspired by the trial, Phoenix decides to follow in Mia's footsteps and become a defense attorney. Another shred of inspiration came from the fact that it was now being reported in the papers that his old pal Miles Edgeworth was a demon prosecutor, interested in only getting a guilty verdict. The product of that inspiration surfaces several years later when Phoenix is taking on his very first case under the watchful eye of his boss and mentor Mia Fey. His first ever client? Good old Larry Butts. Since it's his first case in the series and serves as a tutorial, I will overlook the fact that somehow Phoenix got his attorney's badge while not knowing what a cross-examination is. Oh wait, I just said it out loud. Oops. Anyways, given that this was the first ever case in Ace Attorney, it's incredibly easy, so Larry Butts was found, not guilty, and a witness named Frank saw it is. 1 month later, Wright's mentor Mia Fey is murdered, and thus we enter the next phase of Phoenix Wright's character. As I just mentioned, in the very next chapter of the game, Mia Fey is murdered. Her sister Maya is accused of the crime, and Wright takes on her case. On the second and final day of the trial, with Wright's back against the wall, Maya uses her spirit channeling abilities to channel Mia to help Wright out of the jam. Mia then literally hands him the evidence to convict the person that killed her. This would become a recurring theme throughout the entire trilogy. Wright is in trouble, Mia saves him. If I went into detail about every single time this happened, especially in the first game, this video would be about 6 hours long. So I'm just going to gloss over it and move on to Justice for All, when Nick's arc really kicks off. Episode 2 of Justice for All, Reunion and Turnabout, was one of the bright spots in JFA. It sets up the grand finale for the trilogy. In this case, Maya is once again accused of being a murderer. Lucky for Nick, we meet Pearl in this episode, so Mia is still there to carry him through the trial and save his ass at every turn. Okay, I'm kidding. Kind of. With the help of Mia, Phoenix is able to tear down each witness's testimony before revealing the truth. Pearl's mother, Morgan Fey, had been the mastermind behind the entire case. What a great and totally functional family. We skip now to potentially the most important case for Phoenix Wright as a character. Justice for All, Case 4. Farewell, My Turnabout. Anyone who knows anything about Ace Attorney knows why this case is so important. Like for the rest of the cases I've discussed, I'll give a basic summary because otherwise this section would be 20 minutes long as this case is incredibly complicated. Basically, Maya once again falls into peril and is kidnapped by an assassin, aptly named Shelley D-Killer. D-Killer, well, killed an actor, and a rival actor is accused of the murder, when and Maya is set free. Seems pretty typical as an Ace Attorney case, right? Wrong. The first day is pretty typical. You shoot through contradiction after contradiction and end up implicating someone for the murder. Spoiler alert, they didn't do it. It turns out that your own client, Matt on guard, had ordered the hit. Major plot twist. For the first time ever, you're defending the guilty. You're essentially forced into implicating a different person for the crime, as if on guard is convicted, then Maya is a goner. This really breaks something in Phoenix. To him, blindly trusting his clients has gotten him through his first year plus of being a lawyer. He saved many innocent people from prison time and time again. But this time, trusting his client would have put an innocent person in jail. Thankfully, this is Ace Attorney, so the miracle always happens, and Phoenix ends up losing the case. Which sounds bad, but it means On Guard is in prison and Maya ends up getting free. Long story. All with Mia's help though. A trend. We can actually skip over the entirety of Trials and Tribulations until Case 5, as that game's story primarily focuses on Godot and Mia. Bridge to the Turnabout is the culmination of the entire series. Literally every important character appears in this case. It's also the culmination for Phoenix's character arc. The victim is a writer named Elise Donham, who is actually Misty Faye, Mia and Maya's mother. Phoenix's old lover, Dahlia Hawthorne, plays a major role in this case as well. In fact, let's talk about that right now. By the time this case began, Dahlia Hawthorne had been executed. However, she was channeled with the intent of killing Maya Faye. The motive goes back all the way to Reunion and Turnabout. If Maya dies, then Pearl is next in line to be the master. Morgan Fay is the mastermind behind this as well. However, Pearl didn't actually end up channeling Dahlia. In actuality, it was Misty Faye. Dahlia then goes on to attack Maya, but she has no memory of actually killing her. In fact, she had been stabbed, which ended up causing Misty Faye to die, starting off the whole trial. Later, Dahlia awakes elsewhere being channeled by a different person who she believes to be Pearl. Dahlia believes that Maya jumped off a cliff and into a river, killing herself due to the guilt of killing her mother. Finally in this case, Phoenix stands up to Dahlia. A far cry from the pink-sweatered, feeble young man he was in college. He shoots through her contradictions and eventually lands on the truth that the person actually channeling Dahlia is Maya herself, and she's not dead. This causes a literal exorcism in the middle of the trial, something Mia never did. The pure confidence that Phoenix exudes while talking to her shows such great character development. And now we skip to the very end. The final moment. Nick's greatest moment in the series. After many twists and turns, Phoenix realizes that Godot is the killer. Mia, at this point, is gone, unable to help right at the most crucial moment. Godot even comments on it himself. And Phoenix makes him regret it. In what is easily the most hype moment in the series, Phoenix reveals the smoking gun, proving Godot is the true culprit. Once again, all signs of his old unconfident self are gone, and better yet, he solves it all by himself. Mia is no longer there to help him. Oh, and I forgot, Phoenix was right. He was actually dating Dahlia's twin sister the whole time, and not Dahlia. Throughout the timeline of the Ace Attorney Trilogy, we see Phoenix go from an unconfident love-struck student to an unconfident rookie lawyer to a confident veteran attorney with a near-perfect record. It's done very subtly, but look close enough and you'll notice the finer details. Thanks for watching. My Great Ace Attorney playthrough will be coming up soon. I've just been very busy preparing for college. If you've been there, you know how fun that is. Thank you, be sure to like and subscribe.